Coming up today on Locked On Canucks, a lot of stuff, okay? Roberto Luongo going into the Ring of Honor. How do we feel about that? Also, Corey Schneider, his counterpart, is now retired. We're going to talk about the next John Marino. Is he on the Vancouver Canucks? Plus Dakota Joshua. That guy's in trouble, baby. It's a jam-packed episode, but you're listening to Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Holy, I need another sip of coffee, man. That intro tired me out. But hey, you're here tuning into Locked On Canucks. I am Trevor Beggs, one of the co-hosts here on Locked On Canucks and a Canucks writer for Daily Hive Vancouver. And before we dive into this jam-packed episode, we got to say we appreciate you for tuning into Locked On Canucks. It's your team every day. More specifically, your Canucks every day. Go make sure that you subscribe or follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Now, I laid it out. Roberto Luongo, Corey Schneider, Cole McWard, Dakota Joshua. Gonna talk about it all, man. But first and foremost, someone who's more important than all those guys, Kyle Bowen. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking. Kyle Bowen, Trevor Beggs, Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every day. Subscribe, hit the like button, and leave us a review on your favorite podcatching platform. Dude, I'm excited to have this conversation or these conversations because it's all over the spectrum, but also very, very important when it comes to the integrity of this organization. Let's be honest. Let's be real. I'm also excited to touch on a comment, and we'll save that for the end of the show on Komment Korner, man. Beggsy, I missed you yesterday. That being said, somebody commented yesterday saying that, oh, finally, I can watch an episode of Locked On Canucks because Kyle Bowen wasn't there. That dude's probably from Port Coquitlam, to be honest.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
You know what? To each their own. It was a little mean. Like, I'd rather people take shots at me than take shots at you. You know, you get defensive over your family, man.
Ooh,
And so
family,
I don't like reading that stuff. I'd rather you rip my eyebrows or my voice.
Oh, people
or
are.
something,
People are.
but
One person
yeah.
ripped your eyebrows too in like a sub comment, which is something, man. It's nice when we can share the hate, you know, and share the love. And that's what we do here on Locked On Canucks. So let's just jump right into it because there's going to be maybe a couple F-bombs here because I feel as if there are some people thinking that Luongo did not get honored the right way. Okay. So apparently a game against the Florida Panthers sometime in December, I believe, he's going to be inducted into the Ring of Honor. He's not going to have his number, you know, shot up there in the rafters. He's just going to make the Ring of Honor. And I think a lot of people are like, yeah, what the hell? This is Luongo. Lou. He should have his number retired. Where are you on this? Because, again, there might be a couple F-bombs. I got to breathe a couple of times before I go in. So, again, I'm going to throw it to you. What do you fall on this debate?
Oh, man. You know what? This is the truth's going to come out here, Kyle. So back, you can look at my record. So back for Daily Hive in 2022, I was asked to write an opinion piece on why Luongo should have his jersey retired and not be in the Ring of Honor. And I think most people want his jersey retired, right? The greatest goaltender in franchise history. Despite that opinion piece going out with my name on it, I can make the argument for it, but I'm kind of on the fence about it. Like I'm not a guy who thinks Luongo should absolutely 100% have his jersey retired. I think there's a bit of a loser's mentality in this market in terms of having too many jersey numbers retired. So, yeah, I see the argument for it. I get it. You know, it was 8 years of the best goaltending we've ever seen throughout the franchise's 50-year history. But I just think, I don't know, there's a bit of a loser mentality going on. And, you know, it's funny. I think for a lot of young fans who idolize Luongo, they want his jersey retired. But every time I talk to someone like over the age of 40 to 45, like they don't think his jersey should be retired. Like they just think they remember the playoff flops, right? Because people who have watched this team for 30 to 40 years, they want to see a winner, and they saw Luongo choke in some pretty big moments. Now, that being said, it's a small part of his story, but it's a part of his story nonetheless. So, you know, I'm okay with the Ring of Honor. It looks weird because he's, you know, a greater player than most guys in the Ring of Honor, but I'm personally okay with it, and I'll take the hate in the comments for it.
It is what it is. And we got to save some room up there. And here's the truth, people. If you're one
Are
of
we
those
on the
people,
same side with this?
we are.
That's
We are.
crazy.
Of course we are, dude. And I had a Luongo poster in my room for almost like 10 years. Okay, for real.
Oh, man.
I think I was like 21 years old with a Luongo poster still in my room. Think about that. I got a lot of respect for the guy who put the Canucks back on the map, right? Because there was that little 2-year window post-Bertuzzi, post-lockout where the Canucks were kind of in the mushy middle, and then we made the trade, and Luongo helped us get towards the top. I think he also helped bring a new standard to Henrik and Daniel, and everything kind of elevated. And thank you so much. But man, oh man, we got to leave some room in the rafters, okay, for like legacy. And uh, I guess the best way to put it is like this, okay? And here's the truth. It's the truth. When the Vancouver Canucks win the Stanley Cup, I'm sorry, but guys like Naslund and Luongo, they're going to get forgotten a little bit. Now, Luongo has a bit more pedigree because he stands up there with like the best goaltenders in NHL history. But again, we need to leave some room for the people who are going to get the job done, the real job done. And the players who haven't done it yet, and maybe it's this batch of players, maybe the Cup's coming home in like 2030, who knows, right? But those are the players that are going to be immortalized. And you nailed it on the head as well, man. He did a lot for the city, and he brought the gold home too. Did his thing. I got a lot of respect and love for Luongo, but the Ring of Honor, it's a beautiful honor. And keep in mind, I know it wasn't completely his fault, but the way he left Vancouver too, a little.
I think
off.
that's a part of the story. 100%.
It's part of the story. It's part of the story. It really is. And then to touch back on what you said, yeah, a big reason, not the only reason, but when you're letting like 6 to 7 goals in, not only just in the Stanley Cup Finals, but there was some previous series against Chicago as well. It's like, dude,
yeah,
okay, it's just the truth. You were great for us, MVP like, but we got to leave some room up there, not just in the rafters, but in our minds when we talk about immortalizing Canucks players. And the standard has to be way, way up there. And I'll say it again, I got a lot of love for Luongo, but this is the right choice.
Yeah, honestly, even the stuff where people were potentially mad at Casey DeSmith for potentially taking number 1, his old number, because it was Luongo's number, it's just like, I just think this stuff's gone a little bit too far, man. Like, if we start retiring every guy like Luongo and Naslund, and this is, wow, I'm really gonna get some hate on this, I think. You and I both, Kyle, but you start retiring all these numbers, what, you're gonna have 20 numbers in the rafters and
before
like,
one cup,
no
before
cups,
one cup. Yeah, come on, guys. It's like, again, maybe those 40-year-olds who kind of agree with this, like, oh yeah, get into the Ring of Honor is just enough. Don't retire the number. Maybe they are the same people who think that Kirk McLean should have his number retired or something, you know? Like, it's all over the place, and there's the debate. The debate is one that's going to happen. I think there's weight on both sides, but I would just like personally for the Vancouver Canucks moving forward to have a way bigger standard to be immortalized. We've been through 50 years of like total mediocrity if you compile all the years together. And I think moving into the next 50 years, it's just got to be a little different here. And it starts from the top, literally from the top of the rafters. And I don't think Luongo's number has to be up there. Just it is what it is.
That's fascinating. Let us know in the comments how you feel, because I do feel like Kyle and I are in the minority based on, polls out there, based on what I've read online on the tweeter. I think Kyle and I are in the minority saying, don't retire his number. It doesn't really matter. And honestly, I don't think the Luongo really cares either.
Dude, this guy's a competitor too. He would take the honor. He would like love his number to be retired. But I feel as if, again, he's a competitor, a realist. He's not going to put all the blame on himself, but that's a lot of goals to let in elimination games in the postseason. It's just the truth. It's just the truth, man. Luongo, such a polarizing figure in hockey and in Vancouver, and grateful for his efforts and what he did for the franchise, and being honored in this capacity is a beautiful thing.
Let's touch on his counterpart quickly during those glory years in Vancouver, because Corey Schneider announced his retirement from the NHL yesterday. I want to talk about Schneider for a couple minutes before we get to break and talk about what's going on with our present Canucks. But Corey Schneider, after 16 years in the NHL, that guy really bit his time in the minors with the Manitoba Moose before finally coming up to the Canucks during that 2010-2011 season. I'll ask you this, and maybe it's a weird question, but in a different universe, do you think Schneider could have had a better career than Luongo?
Ooh, yeah. That dude, man, I don't even know. The only way I could put it is like this. Okay, let's say Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron Rodgers, let's say he never got to start for the Green Bay Packers, and when Brett Favre retired and then came back out of retirement and then showed up to Green Bay Packers camp, let's say the Packers like, you know what, Brett, thanks for coming back. We really needed you. You're going to be our starter again. But in reality, they actually did the opposite and told him to F off. We got Aaron Rodgers. But let's say again, that didn't happen and Brett Favre was again the starter, and they traded Aaron Rodgers to New England to be Tom Brady's backup and wait for him to retire, because that's what happened to Schneider. He waited his whole career behind Luongo, one of the best goalies of all time of the generation. And then he gets traded to New Jersey. And keep in mind, I think there was a bit of an agreement that Brodeur would retire soon or whatever. But
Yeah, he only played for one more year.
yeah, but
after Schneider got there,
still imagine
yeah.
that. That's just a lot of prime years of sitting on the bench.
And the Devils sucked during Schneider's prime years too, right?
Yeah.
Like you look at Schneider's career, it's so bizarre because yeah, he was, overseasoned in the minors. Like he was more than ready when he came up during 2010, 2011 season. Then he plays on the Vancouver Canucks, and he helped that team win President's trophies. Like him and Luongo were an amazing tandem. Like I think one of the best goalie tandems of the 21st century. And then the Canucks try to trade Luongo. They can't trade him, so they trade Schneider. Like so that whole ordeal means Schneider has more time as a backup. And then finally when he gets thrust into the starting role in New Jersey, the team absolutely sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just an absolutely bizarre career. And I know to go check it out on our channel if you missed it. Over the summer, we did a story on what would have happened, or an episode on what would have happened if the Canucks kept Corey Schneider. So I think that's a good way to cap off that conversation. Go find that on the Locked On Canucks podcast feed. That was a good trip down.
All this like memory lane talk, man. Sorry to cut you off. Just all this memory lane talk and all this, like, we're getting mad. I'm not going to say for no reason, but we're getting really, really mad about teams that didn't get the job done. I know it's really borderline impossible to win the Stanley Cup. You got to get everything to go your way, but just raise the standard and be more hungry. You know what I'm saying? Overall, it's okay. It's okay that Roberto Luongo is not getting his number retired from the Vancouver Canucks. Dude, did he win a Vezina with the Vancouver Canucks? Did he? No, he didn't. You don't even have that. You get what I'm saying, bro? It's like, relax.
Yeah.
Relax. It's okay that Luongo's not getting his number retired. Yeah. Best Twitter account of all time in hockey. Well, one of the first great Twitter accounts in hockey. Sure. Great. Thank you so much for starting that up in Vancouver, in our area code, in this geographical region. Congratulations. But end of the day, the job didn't get done. And we got to save those moments and those spots in the rafters for people who, like, the next stage of being immortalized for this organization. I think the standard has been set for the guys like Burrows, Luongo, BX and whatnot, Henrik and Daniel up there, Trevor Linden, Stan Smeel, Pavel Bure, right? He changed the game in his own way, for real. That's good. Good, Naslin. Okay, cool. Let's move forward, though.
Let's move forward, and we're going to go from Luongo, Schneider, Naslin talk to Cole McWard, Dakota Joshua talk, baby. That's the kind of stuff you get here on Locked On Canucks. Kyle, we talked about Corey Schneider being overripe. Well, speaking of being overripe, you got some overripe, maybe a little mushy, moldy tomatoes sitting in the fridge. Have you burnt your last piece of toast?
What?
Has your hot sauce bottle gone empty? If so, you gotta try grocery delivery from DoorDash. You'll get everything you want delivered when you need it, right to your door. Kyle, even to that little door out back your house, man. They'll even go there, okay? They'll even go down those sketchy little stairs.
You calling my house small? You calling my humble abode small?
I know where your entrance is. You got those sketchy stairs. DoorDash, they'll go down those stairs to help you out, buddy. Don't gotta worry. With thousands of grocery stores to choose from, you'll find the best in your neighborhood and boost your local economy with each and every order. Holy DoorDash, unbelievable. You'll get exactly what you ordered, or they'll make it right. So sit back and enjoy quality groceries just like you picked them up yourself. Except guess what? You don't have to. You can sit at home in your Birddogs, baby, and just let DoorDash come to you. And with easy substitutions right in the app and best-in-class customer support, DoorDash delivers groceries exactly how you want it. So get 50%, holy, get 50% off your first DoorDash order up to $20 value when you use code LOCKED at checkout. Limited time offer, terms apply. That's 50% off up to $20, no minimum subtotal, and zero delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code LOCKED. Don't forget, that's code LOCKED, not Locked On NHL, just LOCKED for 50% off your first order with DoorDash.
People, before we get back to the show, baby, I gotta tell you that new episodes of Locked On Canucks will be available wherever you stream podcasts and on YouTube at 4:20 p.m. for no reason at all, okay? New episodes every day at 4:20 p.m. Again, wherever you stream podcasts and on YouTube. Let's get back to the show. Okay. We back here on Locked On Canucks. Your Canucks every day. Trevor Beggs, Kyle Bowen. Shout out to Surrey, British Columbia, okay? Shout out to all my Surrey Jacks. watching this, okay? All my Surrey
What?
Jacks. If you guys didn't know this, Trevor Beggs, he was one of the first Surrey Jacks of all time. What? Why are you laughing? The truth matters.
That's not true. Come on.
Ew.
How old do you think I am?
They used to call you T-Dog, yo.
They did used to call me T-Dog. That's
Yo, what
true.
up, T-Dog?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a
Oh,
lot
come
of
on, man.
T-Dog in
Those
high
are the
school.
days, bro. Those are the days, man. Shout out to Sullivan Heights, okay? Shout
Actually,
out
yeah,
to Surrey.
fun story. It was a teacher who started calling me T-Dog.
What?
Yeah, it wasn't even my classmates. It was a teacher.
Dude, and again, if you're new to the program, welcome. And second, I used to be called Canine Bowen in an alternate universe, okay? The big dog, Canine Bowen. For obvious reasons, okay? Come on, man. Out here, man. For real, for real, for real. Locked on Canucks. Your team every day. Subscribe, hit the like button, and yeah, leave us a review on your favorite podcatching system, all right? It is what it is. Man, oh man, it's good to be back again, talking to my homie. I can't wait for the season to get started. And we also had another comment on Twitter, okay? Comments galore. And we had somebody tell us that, yo, Locked on Canucks fell off. Okay, Trevor Beggs cares too much about his kids. I got a message, the Locked On Podcast Network. I don't know if this guy was being sarcastic or real. Maybe we got to step it up, and we'll be accountable. We'll meet up for some beers in the near future and talk about what's next going into October. But maybe he was just being sarcastic and connecting our hate on a guy like Podkolzin, right? Saying that he's got that daddy energy, but not the big daddy energy that on the other end of the spectrum. He's not doing that well because he's a new dad and not getting enough sleep, blah, blah, blah. But hey, he's connecting those dots and criticizing us, and we can take it. Not only are we 30-year-old men from Surrey, British Columbia, dude, we dish it out too, man. So you got to be able to take it. Dakota Joshua. We'll get to him in 5 minutes. I want to start off with the good because he got slapped metaphorically by Rick Tocchet, okay? Can he take it? He got dished out the ish by Rick Tocchet. Can he take it? We'll find out in the season, and we'll talk about it in 5 minutes. But first, let's start with the good. Cole McWard getting some love from Rick Tocchet. I didn't hear about this, so I'm going to let you take the floor.
Yeah, basically, it was another training camp. We're on training camp, I guess, for preseason now, but it was a surprise from the Vancouver Canucks, right? Cole McWard paired on the top pairing with Quinn Hughes at the latest Canucks practice. And I mean, it's been a revolving door there, right? It started with Noah Jules, which was a surprise. Then it was Carson Soucy, who, everydayers know that's who I kind of wanted to see on the top pair if he can make it work on the right side. Didn't look great there, according to reports at the scrimmage. And now it's Cole McWard season, baby. And so Rick Tocchet was asked about this after practice. And he basically, when asked about Cole McWard, said, and I'm paraphrasing that, maybe Cole McWard could be the next John Marino. I think he said something on the lines of, why couldn't he be the next John Marino? Like John Marino came out of nowhere as well. So I kind of looked into that a bit. I mean, John Marino was acquired by Pittsburgh from the Edmonton Oilers for pennies on the dollar. He was a late round pick by the Oilers. And, you look at his last university season at the same age as Cole McWard. He had 33 games. He had 2 goals, 16 points. McWard in his last season at the same age had 9 goals and 21 points. So McWard is a bit more offensively inclined than Marino. I don't think either you or I have seen enough of him to know if he's that defensively polished. But also, it's just an open competition right now. I don't think anyone's impressed there. I think the Canucks want to keep Cole with Hronek, and I get that because Hronek needs that stable partner. If Soucy can't do it on the right side, your options are really thin after that. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a Juleson or McWard. God forbid it's Tyler Myers. So at this point, why can't it be Cole McWard? Why not? And I did say John Marino's last university season. He actually played one more. He signed to the NHL a year later. But the same age of Cole McWard, Cole McWard outproduced him in the NCAA. So I'm curious to see what this looks like for in the preseason action here.
Okay, best case scenario, if this happens, he gets a boost of confidence and has an easier transition playing in the NHL from college. I know he played a couple games last year, but overall, because he's playing with one of the best defensemen in the league, and confidence does a lot of things, okay? For real. When I was having trouble lasting in bed for a long time, one of my homies was like, yo, just be confident. Be confident. Don't be scared. So then I started giving myself pep talks in the shower, and boom, I can go for hours. Recently, though, it hasn't been like that. But where was I going with this? Oh yeah, okay, Trevor, you've been to a couple games last year. You probably watched maybe 1 or 2 Cole McWard games, maybe 1. bare minimum. He wasn't here for a long time. Again, positives. Just talk about his game and try to make sense of this possibly working out where he miraculously goes from being like a 72 overall prospect type of college guy to like being 82 overall, 81 overall this season.
Yeah, I think it's just the poise. He's a good skater. He's pretty good at moving the puck. Like he has things that you want to see in a modern NHL defenseman, but he's young, right? This guy just turned 22 years old. He's one of the youngest. Like, you talk about Juleson, Jet Wu, Akito Hirose, Guillaume Brisebois, Jack Rathbone, any of these guys, they're all like at least a couple years older than Cole McWard. So the fact that McWard's getting this opportunity says something about the Canucks defensive depth. It really says something about the guys on the right side, right? And we talked about it earlier this week. But Noah Juleson and Jet Wu, like, show something, do something, okay? You're about to lose your job to a guy that was in college like 4 months ago, 5 months ago. So, I mean, yeah, it's a bit of an indictment on the Canucks' depth, but I'm just curious if McWard can do it. Obviously, it would be a stretch. No one would have seen this coming if he actually could break camp with the team. But again, the Canucks have 5 preseason games to go, so it's wait and see. But a hell of an opportunity for young Cole McWard.
It is, and you brought up Luongo in that era. Remember, it kind of happened with Chris Tanev overnight. I know he played some games that season, but the next season, I remember in 2012 making a Facebook status. It was a game after we played Edmonton, and I was like, yo, Chris Tanev is filthy good. That was my Facebook status. Right away, he just transitioned into being a poised, reliable defenseman. And again, with confidence, maybe an athlete, a pro athlete like that can do it. And maybe it's easier to be confident when you're playing with one of the best defensemen again in hockey, in Quinn Hughes. The Canucks need like outlier situations like that happening. They need it. They need it.
Yep.
It's the truth.
100%. And, maybe they need more Americans on this team. I touched on it on yesterday's episode, but the Canucks have one of the most American-heavy lineups in the league. America, baby. And, I might have jinxed another American because basically on yesterday's episode, I did say, move the shoulders a little bit. Let's go. I did say on yesterday's episode that the Canucks have probably 17 roster spots locked up right now, depending on where you slot Mikheyev. And I had Dakota Joshua as one of the guys locked up. So, again, my math was 9 of 17 players on the Canucks roster were born in the States. Now, Dakota Joshua, I think I jinxed the guy because I released that episode and then probably, maybe a couple hours later, Rick Tocchet says that Dakota Joshua does not have his job locked up and that he needs to pick it up. So honestly, my mentality is the same as most Canuck fans, right? The Canucks don't have a lot of size, power, and grit in their bottom 6. And Dakota Joshua played well last year and got better as the season went on. So it was interesting to hear Tocchet say that his job's in jeopardy. Are you buying what Tocchet's putting down, Kyle? Or do you think he's just trying to motivate Joshua?
Dude, I'm buying it. Dude, everything has to go well for the Vancouver Canucks to make strides and be appealing for Canuck fans to be proud of. And again, Pettersson to sign long term. And for everything to go right, you need your bottom 6 players not looking like tweener players in the AHL, They need to look like they belong in the NHL and constantly make an impact. Again, a lot has to go right. This team has to get lucky, and Dakota needs to get pushed. If that's the case, if he hasn't really been impressing in training camp, again, you're talking about a game in which the Flames beat up on the Canucks 10-0. Like, what did this guy do? Where's the highlight? You had a good season last year, 10 goals last year, I know you're playing against a whole bunch of NHLers, and you're on this team full of AHLers, players that are going to play overseas and whatnot. Dude, just do something. Again, JPAD, do something. They got to put that on a shirt. JPAD's got to start a new podcast. Instead of Rink Wide, just call it Do Something. Do something. Dakota, bro, bring it. Bring it. And it's not a guarantee that, again, a tweener. And he did a lot for the Canucks last year, but keep in mind, he played for one of the worst teams in hockey. People get their chances to do things in a season when you're placed on a bad team. But what's that Dr. Drake quote? It's like, it's tough to get to the top, but when you get to the top, it's harder to stay there. And the only way you stay there is to do more. And I think Christian McCaffrey of the NFL said something really similar. Like, you got to do more. So maybe he just came into camp thinking that he got it locked down. He figured out the method. And it's like, dude, come on, man. It's the standard is different in Vancouver, and you got to do more. That's the truth. We deserve better. Come on.
Yeah, we deserve better. And like you said, shout out to JPAD and the Do Something. Also, shout out to us with Hope is Dope, okay? Hope is dope. I want to be rocking this shirt, buddy. I'm telling you. For the YouTube viewers, they can see it right now, but I want to be rocking a Hope is Dope shirt because I want things to matter in Vancouver. I want games to matter. And hopefully, Dakota Joshua's spot in the NHL matters to him because he's a risk losing it, okay? You look at the lines from Canucks practice yesterday, Höglander, Pettersson, Kuzmenko, Di Giuseppe, Miller, and Besser, Beauvillier, Suter, and Garland, and Amon, Bluger, and Stednica. So I look at that as Di Giuseppe, Amon, and Stednica are guys that have, impressed ahead of Dakota Joshua so far.
Mm-hmm.
So Dakota Joshua, he's got to figure it out. We also got to figure out how to get to the next segment. So let's just go there right now, okay? You're listening to Locked On Canucks, baby. Komment Korner on the other side.
Okay, you're back on Locked On Canucks. Your Canucks every day. Trevor Beggs, Kyle Bowen. We got to make things quick, okay? Because Trevor Beggs got a job to do, and he's got to bring the bacon to the table, okay? Bring the meatloaf to the table, okay? It would be easier for him to do so if you subscribed to this channel below. If you enjoyed the episode, if you didn't, it's all good. Subscribe another day, okay? We can take the heat. Before we get to Komment Korner, really quickly, Beggsy, we got to do it. This question matters. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Excited to see some Canucks hockey tonight. I'm excited to see Cole McWard and Quinn Hughes. Let's go, baby.
There you go. Let's get to our favorite segment of the show, Komment Korner on Locked On Canucks.
Welcome to Komment Korner, powered by Paraphrasing.
Today's comment comes from our friend Random Number.
The Canucks have to be one of the worst franchises in sport if you take all of their 50-plus years of existence into review.
Okay. Thanks for the comment. Every comment matters, right? It's 2023. Every comment matters. I think that's the trending phrase these days. And this comment actually has me thinking about what we started the show off with. And it's just like the standard and the truth. Because the truth is, it's pretty similar to what the commenter just did to the Vancouver Canucks. And that's roast them, but also more notably tell the truth. And the truth is that in the beginning of the show, we talked about Luongo and it being okay that he gets a Ring of Honor nomination or a Ring of Honor inductee ceremony in December against Florida and not have his number retired because, dude, come on. We're the Vancouver Canucks. We really need 12 numbers up there before we win one cup. Leave some room. Again.
I'll say this. This is why I think one of the Canucks are considered one of the worst franchises, in the last 50 years. Is the guy talking about NHL or just every league? Doesn't really matter.
Man. Yeah.
Everything. Doesn't really matter. But I'll say this. One of the reasons the Canucks have that moniker is because the fans care in this market, okay? This team would not be here if the fans didn't care. Like, you can look at all kinds of other bad organizations like the Atlanta Flames or the California Golden Seals or any of these other NHL franchises that have come and gone because the team sucked and then the fans stopped caring. The fans freaking care in this market, and that's why this team deserves a winner. And then one day, I believe that they will actually get a winner. Yes, it's been a bad 50 years, but hey, we got nowhere to go but up, baby.
Again, hope is dope. Put that t-shirt back up there, wherever it is. Hope is dope. It's going to happen within the next 3 to 5 years. I'm putting that out there. We're going to win the cup. It's going to all start this season. The culture is going to change. These players are going to care about winning because they get a taste of it, and the rest is history, and they're going to be led by Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson. And I want to ask the question again to the people. Let us know in the comments below if me and Trevor are not wrong and we're completely incorrect about Luongo's role in Canucks history, and he deserves to have that number up there. Did Jose Theodore, is his number retired in Montreal? Is it?
Oh my God, is it?
No, it isn't. Don't even search
so.
it. Come on, don't even search it up. It obviously isn't. It obviously isn't. Remember, Luongo didn't win a Vezina. He didn't win a Hart. He didn't. And if the Canucks were going to win the Stanley Cup, he wasn't going to win a Conn Smythe. Dude, it's all good. Luongo was great for the Vancouver Canucks, but was he a legend? I guess sort of. But again, when the Canucks do win the Stanley Cup, the real legends are going to be born. And some of those players, some of the history is not going to be erased, but it's going to be forgotten.
100%. I can't believe you just had me thinking that Jose Theodore had his number retired by the Canadiens. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever looked up in my life. Unbelievable. Anyway, that means it's time to get out of here, okay? Canucks preseason hockey tonight, tomorrow night. We're going to have you covered here on Locked On Canucks, breaking down the training camp battles and also just the pecking order, okay? Like ranking who's going to make this team, who's not going to make this team. But again, I got to get out of here. So I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Kyle Bowen. And you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.